Buying a double bed online, I forgot to choose the assembly service and accidentally sent the message to my ex-girlfriend. She came over immediately, without a second thought. After finishing the assembly, she told me to test it out. "Haruto, is it sturdy?" How am I supposed to test this? The woman pulled me toward her. "You called me over. Didn't you want to try it with me?" This became extremely awkward. My ears burned as I said, "You misunderstood. My bed only collapsed last night." Last night, right in the middle of it, the bed collapsed. I had chosen a double bed online, and it was delivered the very next day. The huge package took up half the bedroom. I looked at my phone screen, left speechless. "Dear customer, you didn't select the assembly service, purchased in too much of a hurry." It was almost dark now, and I couldn't book a technician either. I took a screenshot of the chat with customer service and forwarded to the culprit who caused the trouble last night. "Can you come back and assemble the bed?" I took another photo of the bedroom, the other side typed for a long time before replying with 7 words. "For this kind of thing, you look for me again? Why shouldn't I look for her? She was the one who collapsed it last night. If it's assembled early, then you can go to sleep, right? 2 minutes later, the other side replied, "Be there in 15 minutes. Time flew by. Soon, the doorbell rang 3 times. Wearing a loose t-shirt and shorts, without even putting on slippers, I went to open the door. Aoi appeared at the door, her eyes scanning me. "Dressing like this to welcome your ex-girlfriend?" My eyes widened in shock. Why was the person who arrived my ex-girlfriend? Aoi and I had been broken up for a year, hadn't we? I had sent the WeChat message to the wrong person. It was all because both women used pitch-black profile pictures. How many things did you put on the bed to make it collapse like that? Aoi asked casually as she unwrapped the package. "Probably too many clothes." I decided not to tell Aoi the real reason. Explaining a collapsed bed to an ex-girlfriend would be very bizarre. The air conditioning in the room was cold, but assembling a double bed was indeed quite exhausting. Aoi was so tired that she was drenched in sweat. Catching a glimpse of her back, her body curves were fully revealed under the soaked shirt, a slender waist, and delicate collarbones. I took a sip of water and looked away. This ex-wife of mine was indeed beautiful, but the reason we broke up was that she was too boring. Setting aside her busy work, she had no sense of pleasure in bed. Her posture remained unchanged. For 10,000 years, the lights had to be turned off, and she wouldn't say a single word. She wouldn't even allow me to call her Dr. Aoi. It was truly too tedious. In the end, I couldn't take it anymore, so I brought up the breakup right after we finished the act. Aoi sat on the edge of the bed, her hands buttoning her shirt. Silently for a moment, she didn't turn her head to look at me. "Are you serious?" Serious. 9 words, and just like that, we broke up. She was a woman who was tedious even when breaking up. "It's finished!" My train of thought was pulled back. She was really capable. She had even spread the bed sheets. Aoi sat on the bed, pressing her hands on the edge and bouncing up and down with force, causing the new double bed to emit ambiguous sounds. She tilted her head slightly, the corner of her lips curving up faintly as she patted the spot beside her. "Test it to see if it's sturdy? Is this person out of her mind?" I hesitantly sat down next to Aoi, bouncing up and down on the bed just like her. Enduring the embarrassment for 3 or 4 tries, Aoi seemed to be staring at me. Feeling a bit unnatural, I lowered my head. Am I sick, testing a bed here with my ex-girlfriend? How am I supposed to test this? I prepared to stand up to let her leave, but my waist was tightly embraced by a pair of arms that wouldn't let go. I fell straight backward into someone's embrace. A warm breath slid into my ear, triggering a slight tickling sensation. "You called me over. Didn't you want to try it with me?" I really didn't misunderstand. Aoi had truly changed. She had learned how to tease people, even at this moment. Her breathing was clearly more rushed. The edge of my ear felt hot. "You probably misunderstood. My bed also collapsed last night. It's just that I sent the message to the wrong person." Aoi didn't pay attention to my words. She just gently rubbed the tip of her nose against the hollow of my neck. "You said if it's assembled early, then I could come to sleep. Do you want to get back together?" I was stunned. Get back together with her? If she hadn't suddenly appeared, I really had never thought about it. But if you asked if I wanted to, well, I had only just thought about it. Aoi embraced my arm, letting me lean sideways into her embrace. She tilted her head slightly, her soft, cool lips pressing against my forehead, sliding down to my cheek, chin, then to my neck. I was kissed into a daze, my fingers tightly gripping her sleeve. I had to admit that Aoi's kissing skills had improved significantly. The phone placed nearby rang inappropriately, the screen flashing a message. "Bro, is the new bed replaced yet? I'm coming over to see. I won't be so rough tonight." Holding Aoi with one hand, I directly replied to the message with the other. "Not done yet. Don't come over. Don't come ruin my good time." Turning off the phone, I realized this person had stopped moving. Aoi frowned noticeably, her hands loosening slightly. I was still planning to kiss her next. "Who is she?" She blocked my forehead with 2 fingers. "How exactly did your bed collapse?" I spread my hands and spoke the truth. "Just a younger sister. She gets on the bed quite roughly, so it ended up like this." The sound of water in the bathroom rushed loudly. Aoi had pushed me away just now to take a shower, and only came out after a long time. She stood by the floor-to-ceiling window on the balcony, wrapped in a white bathrobe, waiting for her clothes to dry. "Are you planning to leave?" I didn't understand her thoughts again. Just now, didn't she want to do that with me? Aoi looked up coldly. "What do you think?" She seemed to be angry, but who had offended her? I hesitated for a long time, looking down at my phone. "Then let me transfer some money to you. I troubled you today." A voice call from Rico came in. I answered casually. "Yeah, all right, come over tonight. That's right, it's all done." I hung up the phone. Without me realizing it, Aoi was already standing in front of me, staring at me with a strange look. "Why are you this kind of person?" "What kind of person am I?" "I just finished assembling the bed, and before I could even put my clothes on, you already told someone else to come over." I looked at the countdown on the dryer. "It takes her half an hour to get here. You'll be gone in 15 minutes at most. We basically won't run into each other." Aoi stared at me fixedly, her lips pressed tightly into a straight line, letting out a cold snort. I realized, could she be wanting something to happen with me but felt disturbed by an outsider? Or did she feel I wasn't proactive enough, ruining her mood? After all, Aoi was very conservative in that aspect. I coughed dryly. "How about I tell her not to come today? What do you think?" I had given her plenty of face. The dryer made a dinging sound. Aoi's expression stiffened. She hurriedly put on her shirt and lowered her head to put on her pants. "Let me tell you, Jiang Bak, you misjudged me." It was truly incomprehensible. I couldn't maintain my dignity either. Where did this kind of chaste woman come from anyway? Aoi was choked up by my words. Her face darkened, and she opened the door to step outside, suddenly freezing in her tracks. Rico, who was about to knock on the door, was clearly startled for a moment. "Professor Aoi, why are you here?" "Rico?" Aoi frowned. "Do you know him?" "Bro, didn't I just start my internship? Professor Aoi is my internship advisor. Aoi was a doctor, and Rico was a medical student. I really had never thought that Aoi would be Rico's advisor." She turned around to look at me, then asked Rico, "So you live at his place?" "Yes, this place is very close to the hospital, and commuting is convenient." Aoi's expression became even more unpleasant. Initially, she had also lived at my place before being kicked out by me. Rico scanned Aoi and me. "Professor Aoi, why did you come here?" Aoi maintained a strange silence. I spoke up for her. "Oh well, she came to assemble the bed. It's already done." Aoi probably felt she lost face and quickly fled. Rico stood frozen in place. "Bro, the youngest associate professor in the entire hospital, you called her over to assemble a bed? She wanted to come herself." I was a bit irritated. Rico lowered her head and let out a sigh. "Teacher, did she accidentally take my slippers?" Those female high heels are still lined up neatly at the door. I wanted to contact Aoi on WeChat, but she had actually blocked me. Rico put down the cat pate, and a moment later, Mimi crawled out. Yesterday, Mimi brought a bug onto the bed, and Rico spent the whole night catching it, collapsing the bed in the process. Rico was very embarrassed. I was very calm. Deduct it from the deposit. By nighttime, I tossed and turned, unable to sleep at all. Rico let out a 7-tone scream in the restroom, So cold! The water is so cold! Aoi must have taken a cold shower this afternoon. Knowing Aoi had blocked me, I sent her a bizarre WeChat message anyway. Dr. Aoi handled it with her own hands, then discarded me without a care. That's really uncalled for. This was entirely the resentment of unfulfilled desire. The message was sent successfully. I froze, hurriedly recalling it the next second. This person had unblocked me again. I didn't know if she had seen it. Gaining courage, I probed. Just wanted to tell you, you forgot your shoes at my house. Aoi's messages popped up one after another. I saw it. I won't go over there. Don't send me these kinds of words in the middle of the night. Riko is my student, and you even let the kids see it. She was in her wise woman phase now, using such a cold tone. Besides, so what if she was her student? Riko had just finished showering, holding a delivered portion of crayfish, calling me out for a midnight snack. I sent a message to Aoi. Got it. Riko is calling me. Can't talk to you anymore. I started peeling crayfish, unable to reply to messages. After finishing the midnight snack, it was almost 11 o'clock. Only then did I see the message Aoi had sent 2 hours ago. I'm an amateur. The bed was just assembled. It might not be safe. Aoi was truly a good teacher, caring so much about Riko's daily life. I replied directly. Just saw the message. I'll remind her to be careful. The other side showed typing, really typing for a very long time. I earnestly waited for her reply. Unexpectedly, Aoi made a video call. I was in the restroom, standing in front of the faucet washing my hands. On the phone screen, my face appeared. My whole face flushed red from the spicy food, and my lips were slightly swollen. I quickly turned off the running water. Aoi stared at me, her gaze extremely sharp, faintly emitting a cold light. She used you for a full 2 hours. Do you still have strength? Come out with me for a second round. I checked the time. It was almost midnight. Going out for a midnight snack with an ex-girlfriend in the middle of the night? No, that won't do. I'm full. Aoi sat on the single sofa, leaning her head back, her fingers frustratingly running through her hair. Full already? You're quite something, really treating me as a tool? Her phone seemed to be placed on the coffee table, the camera angle tilted upward. It didn't capture Aoi's face, only showing her long, slender legs, her pale, cool wrists, her slightly tilted chin, and her slender neck. What kind of strange male perspective was this? It was as if I were kneeling in front of her. I completely couldn't process the words she was saying, only quietly taking a screenshot. Bro, who are you video calling with? Riko walked past the door, her eyes resting on my phone screen. No, nothing. I hung up guiltily. Living together with a young girl, one still had to maintain proper boundaries lest she develop the idea of paying rent with her body. Riko crossed her arms and leaned against the door, her eyes full of interest. I saw you take a screenshot, bro. You should find a girlfriend instead of chatting online with a girl showing off her body. I flicked the water off my hands. She's not a girl showing off her body. She's your teacher, a child with no manners. Riko raised an eyebrow. Is she the landlord's girlfriend? No, just friends. I walked past her. Riko tilted her head to make way for me. What kind of friends? Video calling without looking at the face, only looking at the chest. Can you talk a bit less vulgarly? If it weren't out of respect for her older brother, I would have kicked her out immediately. Her brother was my direct boss. Bro, be a bit careful. Don't let people record videos. Riko evaluated me with a meaningful gaze. What did she think I was talking about with people? Are young people's minds nowadays filled only with trashy thoughts? She suddenly stepped closer to me, blinking her eyes. If there's a need, why not look for me? I'm young and clean and I don't even need money. Thanks for the invite, politely declined. I completely had no interest in my boss's younger sister. Even if there really was a need, the person I wanted to look for already had another candidate. Just now I was caught by your student. Now that I'm back in my room, do you want to video call again? I lay prone on the bed, sending a WeChat message to Dr. Aoi. Did the two of you argue because of me? Argue about what? You're worrying too much. She didn't even recognize it was me. Oh, the conversation was bluntly cut off. No matter what messages I sent next, Aoi didn't reply to me anymore. I looked at the phone and brooded. After a few days, Riko also became extremely busy, getting off work at 2 a.m. every day. I made casual inquiries. Is your Professor Aoi that busy too? That old lady is a single workaholic, staring at me to work every day, as if she has a prejudice against me. Riko was so tired she had developed persecution complexes. Seeing that Aoi and I were friends, she asked me to put in a good word for her. I sent a WeChat message to Aoi. Dr. Aoi, it's fine if you're busy yourself, but don't stop your student from leaving work early. Aoi was very cold. It's just work. 2 minutes later, she sent another message. I am not targeting her. I had no intention of standing up for Riko. I was just finding an excuse to talk to her. I know you're not that kind of person. Aoi replied with an ellipsis. Half a month later, I went to the hospital for a checkup because my endocrine system wasn't doing very well. The male doctor asked me about the frequency of my sexual activity in the past 3 months. I helplessly held my forehead. Does kissing once half a month ago count? Of course it doesn't count. He expressed very tactfully, telling me to get a good night's sleep and I'd be fine. I stood in the hospital elevator, falling into deep thought. Whom should I sleep with? The elevator doors slowly opened, and a crowd of doctors rushed in, pushing me into the back corner. Aoi, wearing a white lab coat, stood in front of the interns, her expression serious and cold, her entire body emitting a fairly strong aura. Riko was right behind her, closing her eyes and yawning repeatedly. Compared to Aoi's elite aura, Riko was completely overshadowed. My gaze passed through the crowd, falling on the woman's beautiful side profile. Isn't this a case of feeling sleepy just as someone brings a pillow? Since she had intentions toward me last time, I sent her a message. Dr. Aoi, the matter from last time isn't finished yet. Can we continue doing it? Aoi looked down at her phone, her eyes narrowing slightly as she immediately locked the screen. She turned her head to look back, very afraid of being discovered by others. Just like doing something against her conscience. Aoi in her working state was indescribably charming. I, notoriously playful, messaged, Dr. Ao, my body isn't very comfortable. Should I come to the hospital for an exam? Aoi looked down, casually took 2 steps back, standing a bit further away from Riko. Where is it uncomfortable? I stared intently at her, curling my lips as I typed, my whole body is uncomfortable. I want to register for Dr. Aoi's appointment. Can you help me check from the inside out? Perhaps the doctor knows better than the patient where it's uncomfortable. Aoi coughed lightly in embarrassment, quietly standing sideways, holding the phone against her chest. Mr. Jiang, please show some respect, no matter how uncomfortable you are. Don't look for me, let Riko examine you. Wasn't that a bit too bookish? I was talking to her about going to bed, and she was talking to me about medical exams. Why did I agree to date her back then anyway? Oh, remembered now, I was the one who pursued her. Then it makes sense. But I only need Dr. Aoi to examine me. Aoi suddenly froze her fingertips, quietly evaluating Riko before quickly withdrawing her gaze. This sequence of actions happened continuously, as if she wasn't noticed by anyone, but rather looked down on Riko a bit. Riko suddenly raised her head. Professor Aoi, what's wrong? The proud and cold Professor Aoi was startled. Nothing. Aoi very quickly turned around, lowering her head to reply, I'm at work. Don't text anymore. I beg you. Flirting a bit on the phone, had already frightened Dr. Aoi. Dr. Aoi, I'm right here in the elevator. I'm not even afraid. What are you afraid of? Aoi was quite tall. Pretending to lean sideways and turn her head, she saw me. I threw a flirtatious glance at her. She hurriedly turned away, the feeling of secrecy very distinct. Their group very quickly exited the elevator. I continued taking the elevator down to the B2 floor. The moment the door opened, my wrist was tightly grabbed by someone and pulled into a dark stairwell corner. My entire body was covered in that woman's shadow. Jiang Tiobak, what on earth do you want to do? She looked down at me, her voice cold and low. I stood straight, looking up at her. Want to date you, is that not allowed? Aoi stared at me indifferently. If it's not allowed, then forget it. Old grass. If I'm not allowed to eat it, then forget it. I walked toward the light. Wait a minute. I stopped and turned around. The person hid in the darkness, her body leaning back, her fingertips pressing her brow. Can we negotiate? If people find out about this kind of thing, how am I supposed to face people in the future? How can I be a role model for my students? Holding her forehead, she was both annoyed and reproachful. "You tell that person to move out first." I frowned, expressing doubt. "Why?" Aoi looked toward me, her voice turning a few degrees colder. "Don't tell me you want to be with me in the house of you and Rico?" I always felt something was wrong, but currently it seemed she really needed me to show an attitude. I froze. "Of course not. I'm preparing to book a hotel room." Aoi silently stared at me, staring to the point that I got goosebumps. Am I only worthy of staying in a hotel? I couldn't understand. Aoi had already gone to press the elevator. She had to go back to work. I hesitantly asked her, "Then, after I finish booking the hotel, I'll send it to you?" She looked up at me, her gaze icy. "No need. I'm not that cheap." The elevator doors closed. I stood silently in place for a long time. What did that statement of hers mean? She could have negotiated with me. At most, I'd book a 5-star hotel. I planned to ask Aoi to clarify a bit more about this cheap part, only to find I had been blocked again. What a lunatic. Blocking an ex-boyfriend at the slightest thing. Rico got off work on time today. Truly rare. Professor Aoi finally acted like a human being, even letting me come back to keep my boyfriend company. I was bending over teasing the cat on the balcony. "You have a boyfriend?" "No. On the first day I went for the internship, I fabricated an image that I had a lover. Otherwise, wouldn't I become the best laborer? Aren't you afraid of blocking your own relationship prospects?" In the living room, the TV was on. Rico lay on the sofa, closing her eyes and talking nonsense. Is the relationship important, or is life more important? I told my colleagues that if I keep working overtime like this, he will definitely break up with me or secretly cheat on me. I didn't know what to say either. This rarely known path of playing the victim, yet you managed to discover it. No one answered me. Rico had already fallen asleep. I took a thin blanket to cover her, sat on the single sofa, and casually browsed my phone. Surprisingly, I broke the rule and scrolled past Aoi's moments. She posted a sexy photo without showing her face, hands with distinct joints gently lifting the hem of her shirt, revealing a slender and charming waist. I hit the like button, felt something was wrong, and immediately undone it. A high-quality moments post like this, yet only I liked it. Clearly, she said it so only I could see it. I really suspected this person's brain was sick. When asked out, she couldn't be booked for bed. WeChat keeps getting blocked and unblocked, yet the method of seducing people never stops. I angrily commented, wanting to do bad things, yet wanting to appear pure. In less than 3 seconds, she deleted the moments post entirely. It felt like across a screen a glass heart had just shattered. Sorry, bro. I was remorseful to the point of wanting to die. Aoi, it has nothing to do with you. The moments post was posted by mistake. I just realized and deleted it. Aoi, you let Rico off work on time. Don't look for me in the future, this is really not good. She never liked this kind of pulling strings for internal convenience. It won't happen again in the future. Previously, I just casually mentioned it. Furthermore, the photo you took was very beautiful. Aoi, what I just said wasn't like this. I sent an emoji of a kitten standing up in total confusion. Aoi's call came in. Is Rico next to you? Her voice seemed very tense. I picked up the water glass from the coffee table, looking at Rico on the sofa. Yes, she fell fast asleep long ago. I'm playing on my phone. What do you want to say? The voice on the other end was silent for a long time. Amid the small rustling sound of the current, every word Aoi spoke was extremely embarrassed. You said the photo was very beautiful. Then, do you want a video call with me? Are these words she could utter? I spat out the mouthful of water in my mouth. Rico was also awakened by the noise I made. She asked me what I was doing, and I hurriedly said nothing. Fortunately, Aoi didn't make any sound either. I sneakily returned to my room, climbed onto the bed, and told Aoi, "Yes, let's video call." She stared at me, lowering her head and letting out a soft hum. She directed the phone camera at her waist, raising both hands upward, taking off her camisole. She not only had a very beautiful figure, but also cool white skin that set off red spots, exceedingly red. I was so tense that I flipped my hand to cover my mouth. tightly so as not to make a sound. Previously, when asking her to turn on the lights, she was unwilling. Now, the ex-girlfriend was so liberated, Aoi's face couldn't be seen, but her voice carried a slight tremble. "Where do you want to see? You can make a request. Whatever works for me." I swallowed hard. A person really cannot give an inch and take a mile. Jiang Chubach, pay attention to your quality. I hesitated, wanting to speak but stopping, wanting to stop but speaking out. "Can you take off the coat? Okay, sure. Let's be a good man in the next life." The body in the camera clearly stiffened for a moment. 2 hands slid to the hips, fingertips gently gripping, the hesitant movement heading downward. "Underwear still has to be worn." Her voice was very aggrieved. Perhaps this was her final boundary. Yeah, put it on." I seriously enjoyed Aoi's next performance. Her waist and curves were truly very sexy. Inside, she wore deep blue, taste beyond reproach. Aoi's voice was very shy. "Chubach, can you not stare at one spot?" Only then did I notice my burning and intent gaze had already kissed her inside out. I coughed dryly a few times in embarrassment. "Sorry, it's fine." She lowered her voice. "I'm willing." I noticed Aoi's sense of loss. "Otherwise, to be fair, should I let you see too?" Aoi's flushed face appeared in the camera. She lowered her eyelashes, speaking in an evasive tone. "No need, I have to go to sleep." With the state just now, how could she go to sleep? "Are you going to handle it yourself again?" Aoi was silent for a moment, slowly raising her eyes to look at me, her gaze complex and hard to predict. "Otherwise, what else?" "Of course you can invite me out. So if not, what else?" This counts as a rhetorical question. What word is it? I just silently looked at her, not speaking or hanging up the phone. Aka seemed to read the implication in my eyes. She looked as if she were being forced to entertain a client. "So, can I come to your house now?" What an upside-down, completely absurd world. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. What on earth did she mean? She still looked reluctant, even though I was the one who dumped her before, not the other way around. "Okay, arrived." The driver pulled over to the curb. Good heavens, I actually hailed a car to come here by myself. I think the cheap one is someone else. In the dim night, Oyu stood by the roadside waiting for me. Seeing her looking quite well behaved, I dashed over and pulled her hand, only to be awkwardly pushed away by her. "We're outside. Don't be like this." She looked as if she had just done something against her conscience. "Can you stop being so conservative? What era is it already?" I was truly helpless. Aoi pulled my hand and walked forward. No matter what era it is, it's not something honorable. Once inside the door, she conversely let herself go. Pulling me to the entryway, she tightly embraced my neck and began to kiss me passionately. Didn't you say it's not honorable?" I breathed out intermittently. Aoi tilted her head up, overbearing in her conquest. Her eyes quite immersed, but the words she spoke were exceptionally cold. "Can you just obediently enjoy it and stop saying those words?" I had nowhere to vent my anger, so I squeezed her waist hard. "What kind of talk is that? Am I the only one enjoying it? Aren't you enjoying it too? If you're really that reluctant, who could possibly force you?" Aoi ignored me squeezing her, staring fixedly at me for a moment, her eyes dark and deep. "Yes, my nature is cheap. Say whatever you want." She pulled my hand, walked straight through the living room, and pushed open the master bedroom door. I was dragged to the middle of the bed by her, and immediately after, she pressed down on top of me. The weight of 2 grown adults caused the mattress to sink slightly, then bounce up from time to time. Aoi might be making love out of hatred for me, or perhaps like she was competing with someone. Amidst the tenderness carrying a hint of fierceness, I gradually couldn't hold her off anymore. "Aoi, have you been practicing?" I wanted to push her off the bed. She wrapped her 2 legs around my waist, leaning her head down close to my ear. "Are you praising me for being more capable, baby? You really know how to talk." In the end, after tossing and turning for 2.5 hours, Aoi glanced at the time, her face carrying a look of deep satisfaction. She leaned down to end this lovemaking session with a kiss. "Are you staying overnight at my place, or do you want to go back?" I froze, looking down at her. Aoi was looking up at me, her expression cautious yet serious. She was absolutely not joking. A panic of emptiness rose in my heart. Everything was done, yet she didn't mention a single word about getting back together. Instead, she asked if I wanted to go home. What counts as the situation now? Am I supposed to ask that question? My mind was very messy, and my heart was very resistant, but I still opened my mouth to ask, so what counts as our relationship now? Aoi was also silent for a moment. That depends on your thoughts. Fine, 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 you damn jerk woman, you've got some nerve. Aoi still wanted to lean in to hug me, but I immediately pushed her away coldly, picking up the scattered clothes. I'm going back now. She spoke up to keep me. Can't you stay overnight at my place? Her tone actually turned disappointed. I turned my head to glare at her. Am I your boyfriend, that I should stay overnight at your place? Aoi's face turned completely pale, and she lowered her head awkwardly. She only dared to answer me in a very low voice, no, I wasn't her boyfriend. I went home but couldn't sleep, really unable to figure it out. Aoi wasn't a jerk woman before, and furthermore, I felt she liked me very much. Could it all be my illusion? I woke up Rico, who was fast asleep. It's like this, I have a friend. He and his ex-girlfriend met again. The two felt a strong connection and finally went to bed. But afterward, the girl said they are not in a romantic relationship. Why do you think that is? Rico rested her chin on her hand, her fingertips tapping on the phone screen. Bro, tonight from 9:30 to 12 o'clock, you went out, right? I was silent for a moment. Talk about my friend's matter first. Don't ask about my schedule. Bro, that girl slept with her ex-boyfriend for free, that's all. I gasped, jumping to my feet. You make a lot of sense. I'm going back to my room first. No way! You just woke me up and you're going back to your room straight away? I answered her with difficulty. I'm going back to report this bad news to my friend. Rico evaluated me vigilantly. Bro, your face doesn't look very good. Nonsense. Who would look good after being slept with for free? Quote, what did you go out for in the middle of the night? The friend you mentioned? Wouldn't happen to be yourself, right? I denied it 3 consecutive times. I'm not. I didn't. Don't talk nonsense. Rico narrowed her eyes. It's definitely you. She began to be aggressively pressing. Lately, you met your ex-girlfriend again, went out to rent a room with her in the middle of the night, and still didn't get a status, is that right? I just shook my head in denial, not daring to look into her eyes. Not exactly like that. I didn't rent a room with someone else, I just called a car for home delivery service. Just wasn't kept overnight, that's all. Rico was quite speechless. I told you to find a girlfriend. I didn't tell you to find your ex-girlfriend. I sat on the rattan chair on the balcony, drinking to drown my sorrows all night. Rico insisted on staying with me. Early the next morning, Rico called the hospital to ask for leave. The first time, Aoi answered for a split second, and then hung up immediately. The second time, it took a long time to connect. Rico, do you have something you need from me? This tone was very gentle. Rico also put on an act. Professor Aoi, I'm asking for leave. My boyfriend fell ill last night. Rico's boyfriend was just her tool for asking for leave. Aoi seemed to let out a sigh of relief, then fell silent for a moment. Is it serious? No. Quote, ahem, I mean if it's serious, take him to the hospital for a checkup. Thanks for your concern. I want to ask for a day off today. Quote, okay, I see. Take good care of him. Rico stared at the phone, her brows furrowed in complete incomprehension. Professor Aoi values words like gold. What's wrong with her today? To actually have such human touch? I secretly cursed Aoi in my heart. Jerk woman. One way on the surface and another in her heart. The jerk woman's message arrived too. Is there somewhere you're unwell? Was it caused by me? Did you want to come back to be by my side? It's been a night, and only now did she remember the post-act soothing. Furthermore, who said I was unwell? It was my heart that was uncomfortable. Nah. If you want to come, just come. Who's stopping you from coming, Aoi? But I don't want it to be like this. My silence was deafening. I was preparing to catch up on some sleep. Rico grabbed her coat from the sofa, reluctantly changing her shoes at the door. What's wrong? Are you planning to go out? I'm truly speechless. Professor Aoi said just now she forgot that there is an important meeting this morning that she can't skip, and told me to wait until the afternoon to ask for leave. Wasn't Aoi just texting me a moment ago? While I was in a dream, I was awakened by the doorbell. Aoi really came to visit me. She even brought fish porridge cooked with her own hands. Only she was very stealthy. Black sunglasses, plus a black mask, basically unrecognizable as her. I mocked her, Sister, you're already 28 years old. Even if you debut now, it's too late. Hatchoi slipped into the house, raising her hand to look at the watch. I only have 2 hours before Riko comes back. Eat your meal first. I shrugged with an indifferent look. Are you that afraid of her seeing you like this? Aoi placed the porridge down in the dining room, personally pulling out the back of a chair, turning around to stare at me coldly. Fine, I'm not afraid of her seeing me. I'll stay here and wait for her to come back and kiss you right in front of her. Are you happy now? My head was full of question marks. Which word of mine offended her? Completely incomprehensible. Aoi, you're really crazy. Go register at the psychiatry department for an exam. She let out a helpless sigh, her fingertips lightly tapping on the table's surface. I'll go register later. Come over and eat. Aoi's culinary skill was quite good. The fish porridge tasted delicious. Dr. Aoi? To someone who isn't your boyfriend, are you always this good? Aoi sat opposite me, her gaze shifting slightly. To my boyfriend, I'm even better. Can't you stop mocking me? I stirred the spoon very quickly, my tone gnashing my teeth. Then I wish you find a boyfriend soon, rather than keeping an improper relationship with your ex-boyfriend. I emphasized the words improper relationship very heavily. She leaned back, closed her eyes, and placed the phone on the table with a clack. Can you not always mock me, Turbach? I know I have issues myself, and I've prepared myself to be criticized by everyone, but you keep saying it to me all the time. I'm really extremely uncomfortable. What version has the jerk woman's rhetoric evolved to now anyway? I'm done eating. I stood up. Go to the hospital to register for an exam. I don't understand. Aoi lowered her head to clean up the dining table, her face looking extremely weak. She carried the items and walked to the door, looking at me from time to time. Then I'm leaving. I said nothing, and Aoi didn't leave either. She directly dropped the items, walked over here, and squatted down in front of me. Since I'm already here anyway, can I have a kiss? I looked at her wordlessly. What do you think? I'm afraid her brain really has an issue. She actually confidently closed her eyes and raised her head, only to be lightly slapped by me. Aoi's gaze was extremely complex. Right at this moment, the door opened. Riko was back. Professor Aoi? Aren't you at the hospital for the meeting? Why are you here? Aoi snapped upright, her face turning a shade whiter, her reaction very unnatural. Why did you come back so early? What kind of strange behavior was this from Aoi? I saw you weren't there either, so I came back first. Riko finished speaking and wanted to slap her own mouth. It's fine. Since you're back, then I'm leaving first. The two of them were 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Riko looked at me with a suspicious gaze. I casually smoothed it over. I asked Dr. Aoi to bring a portion of food over to help me, knowing Aoi didn't want others to discover the relationship between her and me. She expectedly chimed in, saying, yes, we are just ordinary friends. Kudos to an ordinary friend. I turned my face to glance at her, my tone indifferent. So you haven't left yet? Riko leaned against the door, peeking outside. Professor Aoi runs so fast every time she sees me, doesn't she? I let out a long sigh. For the next half-month, Riko's mood was exceptionally good. She said Professor Aoi seemed to highly recognize her ability, took great care of her in work, was much easier to talk to than before, and even occasionally cared about the relationship between her and her boyfriend. Riko's conscience was about to catch up with her. I regret lying to her that I have a boyfriend. Then tell her the truth. Then wouldn't I become a bad student who deceives the teacher? Riko was playing a game. I've already started paving the way for a breakup with my boyfriend. After a while, I'll say we broke up. Perfect. Thinking up to here, she looked at me. Bro, how are things between you and that ex-girlfriend? She asked you out several times, and you refused. Since the previous fish porridge incident, Aoi asked me to meet at her house, so it wouldn't be easily discovered by people. I replied to her with one sentence. Do you still know shame? The screen showed the other party was typing for about half an hour. Previously, you didn't talk to me like that. Now you scold me for not knowing shame. When you told me to video call you, why didn't you scold me for not knowing shame? If you had scolded me like that back then, I wouldn't have fallen to this path. I don't want to talk about you either, but ever since that time, your attitude toward me has been very bad. I saw through it early on. You want to break up with me again. Last time she returned halfway, you even hit me, and today you scold me again. I really don't want to live this kind of days anymore. What on earth was she talking about? Truly too abstract. Did she go online to learn abstract literature? I read it over and over a few times, trying to understand her logic, and finally discovered a loophole. Was this word she referring to Rico? Last time I hit, you had nothing to do with Rico returning. It was because you suddenly kissed me and I wasn't willing. Okay, I see. Then I don't blame you. Can you come visit me? My recent state is very bad, and I keep asking Rico about you. I suspect you don't want me anymore. Can you come visit me? My heart skipped a beat. Ruined. A big matter occurred. I looked for Rico in the living room. Lately, have you noticed if your Professor Aoi has a mental issue? Rico raised her head to look at me. No, bro. You kicked out my game monitor connection cable over there. I clicked my tongue in doubt. Then, has she ever asked you about me? Rico raised her head to look at me. No, bro. You kicked out my game monitor connection cable over there. I was silent for a long time, curling the corners of my lips. Sorry, I kicked out your game monitor connection cable. Rico lowered her head. Ouch! You're still stepping on it! Rico's brother posted a moment about this matter. Who on earth couldn't see such a big HDMI cable? The attached picture was my foot stepping on the cable. A few minutes later, Aoi shared an article on her official account titled, "Don't look for a girlfriend who likes to play games, because to win, she will sell you out." Rico silently deleted her Moments post. This matter was too coincidental. Bro, do you think Professor Aoi is implying something to me? I don't quite understand either. It can't be. Maybe she's getting up there in age. Who knows? In a few days, she might share secrets to longevity. Aoi was still sending me WeChat messages. Rico only knows how to play games. Do you want to go out to play with me? Why did her mood suddenly become so good? Very bizarre. Last time I told you to register for an exam. Did you go? Don't want to go. No, don't dare to go. They're all my colleagues. She took a photo of the moon and sent it to me. It's enough that you come see me. A bit jerk mixed with a bit of madness, but still quite romantic. Looking at this photo, she was right downstairs. I looked all around downstairs. Aoi pulled my hand and I hid behind a dense tree. One of her hands embraced my waist and the other held the back of my neck. She was about to tilt her head close when suddenly she froze, her affectionate gaze fixed on me. Can I kiss you? It seemed that hitting her last time had scared her to the point of turning timid. I nodded. You can. She obediently kissed me. We kissed under the tree shadow and under the moonlight, both body and mind deeply immersed, waiting until I was almost unable to breathe. Only then did she reluctantly let go. She stared at me. So, do you want to come to my house? I was wordless. Only that matter was in her head, just wanting me to go to her house to go to bed. I waved my hand. No, I'm going back to my house. Aoi looked as if a bucket of cold water had been thrown over her, her resentful gaze staring fixedly at me. Just as I was about to step out of the darkness, she leaned close against my back from behind. Cheer back! Let's go travel! Her voice sounded as if it were enchanting, yet also as if it were pleading. Find a place where no one knows us. I want to enjoy a two-person world with you. She stood on her tiptoes, gently rubbing against my neck. Just 1 week, I beg you. I returned home again to pack my luggage. Rico, wearing pajamas, stood in place scratching her head. Bro, your second uncle is getting a divorce, and it still requires you to go back to help? Yes. Rico had a non-existent boyfriend, and I had a non-existent second uncle, but fate was ill-fated. He had gone through matters of children going to study abroad, his ex-wife getting into a car accident, a cross-border second marriage, and his wife having an affair. There was no way around it. His child went to study abroad, and his wife had an affair, and there was no one back in the hometown either. Now, getting a divorce. In short, there must be someone to back him up, right? I couldn't possibly tell the company that I was asking for leave to travel with a woman. So I could only tell Rico's brother that I had to return to the hometown to take care of some urgent matters. Even with roommate Rico over here, I had to unify the story. Aoi and I went to Sapporo, Hokkaido. She became visibly happy to the naked eye, even wanting to take a commemorative photo of me. I hurriedly covered my face with my hand. I can't post on Moments. And don't you post pictures of me either. I already told Rico that I returned to the hometown. Then no more photos, it's my consideration that wasn't thorough. Her face looked gloomy, but after checking into the hotel room, her state turned good again. To be precise, just as we stepped into the room door, she entangled me to the point that I couldn't breathe. We were truly like a newlywed couple going on a honeymoon. Aoi's tenderness was about to overflow completely. She even brought food right up to the bed to feed me. Several times I wanted to ask her, why not get back together with me? But she was clearly very evasive about our relationship. During that most passionate moment, I used force to embrace her tightly and said, I like you very much. She said she did too. I was silent for a long time. Anyway, let's stop here. I can't let myself keep going on like this. She shifted closer to my side, her 10 fingers tightly interlocking with mine, her earnest gaze looking up at me. Why? Is it that I didn't do well somewhere? It's my issue. She fell silent. No way! What did this silence of hers mean? I was just being conventionally polite for a bit. Turns out she also felt it was my issue. On the surface, I pretended to be calm, but inside, I was about to die of anger. Aoi raised her head close against one side of my face. I don't mind your issue. You're something. Quite something. You really are something. Otherwise, how could you be a professor at such a young age? I turned my head to look at her. To think you actually don't mind. Eating and taking at the same time, giving an inch and taking a mile, right? Aoi's gaze froze slightly. Why did you suddenly scold me? What do you think, Dr. Aoi? I want to be your boyfriend. You've grown addicted to sleeping for free, right? Aoi grabbed my wrist, her face extremely serious. What do you mean? Make it clear. I want to be your boyfriend. I'm speaking standard language, and this isn't a long or difficult sentence either. How much clearer does it need to be? I've taken a fancy to you. Let's date. I want to partner up with you. The main point is, I like you and hope your boyfriend is me. Aoi immediately sat up straight. Your boyfriend is me? She pressed further. Then what about me? What status do I carry? Are you a werewolf? You're a jerk. You're a jerk woman who sleeps with her ex-boyfriend for free? You naturally are my girlfriend. She balled her hand against her lips, lowering her head, looking up and down as she fell into deep thought. Okay, I understand. Then this matter must be discussed carefully, temporarily. It cannot be let known to others, so as to avoid damaging your and my reputation. Which treacherous official possessed her anyway? Returning, I must register an exam for her. I waited for her for a long time, truly losing patience. You still haven't said whether you agree or not. Aoi regained her composure, leaning into my embrace. She planted several consecutive kisses on my face. Why wouldn't I agree? I want to agree to death. Baby, you treat me so well. I was still very satisfied. Just as I wanted to kiss her back, I saw her narrowing her eyes and biting her fingernails, appearing lost in thought. But the more we want to land safely, the more we have to calculate slowly. Haste makes waste. What a lunatic! I said to post it on Moments to make it public, but Aoi resolutely stopped me. Don't anger him. I tried communicating. Who? Our common enemy? What a lunatic! I gave up communicating. Don't underestimate the opponent. I said she was crazy. Aoi will be made into a PPT. Studying medicine indeed cannot save oneself. Return to the country now. Lately, my mood has been exceptionally good because my ex-girlfriend and I got back together. But Rico's mood wasn't very good. And furthermore, it was related to Aoi. Bro, last time you said Professor Aoi had a mental issue, I'm afraid it's true. Now I can feel it too. Conversely, I wanted to hear what issue my girlfriend had. Speak up. Rico decisively pulled me to sit down on the sofa, beginning to narrate in detail. Professor Aoi has been very strange going to work lately. Incident number 1. Rico was making a research report, and the teachers below all praised Rico for being young and talented, a very promising bud. When it was Professor Aoi's turn to comment, Aoi said, "When I was 24 years old, I had already published 2 SCI articles. The entire hall was silent for 3 seconds before everyone burst into awkward laughter. Incident number 2. Riko changed to a new car, driving a new Mercedes S, gifted by her brother to work. Everyone was teasing, saying she was a low-profile, second-generation rich. Professor Aoi walked past the office door, casually glancing at Riko, and Riko immediately felt something was wrong. Afterward, Professor Aoi drove a Maybach to work. The entire hospital went silent. The 5 vice presidents and the president took turns looking for Aoi to talk, saying it caused a bad influence. Aoi would rather die than change. My family has a bit of money. Incident number 3. Riko struck up a conversation with Professor Aoi. Heard that Professor Aoi's favorite recent topic of conversation was going on vacation to Hokkaido with her boyfriend last week. Riko wanted to use this matter to ease the teacher-student relationship. Professor Aoi, is there anything fun to play in Hokkaido? Aoi's face was full of wariness. How do you know? Riko reached out to scratch her head and said, I heard about it. Wasn't it said that going out to play with your boyfriend was very fun? Aoi stared fixedly at her. You heard wrong. I don't have a boyfriend. I'm single. Riko asked me, Bro, do you think her nerves are tangled up? What is this? How does this count as being crazy? Compared to Aoi's symptoms in front of me, this is still quite mild. Isn't this matter very clear? No, she has a prejudice against you. Finding you an eyesore. But you being so cocky, finding you an eyesore is also normal. Riko stared straight ahead, her face solemn. No, she doesn't have a prejudice against me. I went to the refrigerator to grab a bottle of water to drink. Riko looked at me with a serious gaze, enunciating every word. She has designs on me. I hadn't even had time to swallow a mouthful of water, spitting it all out on the spot. Is your brain sick? You are the one with a mental issue. I grabbed a tissue, frantically wiping my hands. Aoi is as straight as can be, even straighter than your house. You people studying medicine all have illnesses. I'll go register for an exam for me. Riko stood up. Listen to me finish first. I'm really not spreading rumors. The incident happened at dusk the day before yesterday. Riko had to pull the night shift, and Professor Aoi was preparing to leave work. The entire floor didn't have many people left. All around was no one. Professor Aoi suddenly appeared. Riko, you're on the night shift? Riko stood up. Yes. Aoi shifted her gaze away. So you have to stay up until 2 a.m. It's indeed very late. Are you going home? The atmosphere was already a bit strange. Riko froze for a bit. Then I'm not going back. Aoi lowered her head to look at the tips of her toes. Then at night, the air conditioning is cold, you can cover with a blanket. Riko's head was full of question marks. No way, sister, you've gone out of bounds. Thanks for your concern. Aoi still stood there, having no intention of leaving. Quote, Riko, you work very hard too. Last time you said your boyfriend often argues with you. Your conditions are also very good. Do you want me to introduce a partner to you? Riko vigilantly took 2 steps back. No need, teacher. I especially love my boyfriend. Professor Aoi was clearly startled for a moment. So what if he doesn't love you? Will you still cling to him? Riko couldn't endure it any further. Teacher, haven't you left work yet? Professor Aoi regained her composure, lowering her head to cough dryly a few times, quietly evaluating Riko, her eyes flashing with calculation as she reached out to pat her shoulder. If, in the future, you encounter relationship troubles, for example, your boyfriend wants to break up with you, you can always confide in me more. Professor Aoi left with satisfaction, her back also exuding joy. Riko was still immersed in that meaningful shoulder pat. Ruined, she wants to hit on me. Riko felt Professor Aoi had taken a fancy to her. From that, all the abnormal incidents could be explained. Showcasing her academic achievements in front of the crowd to demonstrate personal attraction. Driving a car of the same brand but higher end to prove personal financial power. Intentionally in front of Riko, emphasizing that she herself was single, but furthermore often peeking at her, not to mention that conversation that was almost sexual harassment. Riko clicked her tongue. The medical field is indeed very messy. Quote, I feel it's not a problem of the field. Is your mind too messy? Riko glanced at me. Actually, thinking carefully, every time Professor Aoi catches sight of me, she runs very fast. Probably because I look too beautiful. I truly am a great beauty. But Riko told me not to but anymore. She has rich experience encountering lesbians. She found her newly bought wristwatch, stood in front of the balcony extending her hand, telling me to take a photo of her, then posted a moment. Boyfriend just insisted on buying it as a gift for me. Hope demons and ghosts stay away from our love. I really felt she was doing something redundant. AOE is absolutely a straight girl. And furthermore, our relationship is extremely sweet. I was just about to ask Aoi when her message arrived. I saw Riko's moments post. I keep having the feeling she is showing it to me. This. It truly was showing it to you. How should I put it? Saying that she suspects you are a lesbian? No, you're overthinking it. Aoi questioned 3 consecutive times. Am I overthinking it? Are you coaxing me, sweet? Why can she still receive gifts? I am scratching my head in frustration, tearing out a few strands of hair. Her boyfriend gave it to her, didn't he? Why do you keep paying attention to her? I don't understand what the situation is right now. It's truly so incomprehensible. Kazumi, don't you understand? The window glass already reflected your shadow. You helped her take a picture. And you clearly knew she was scolding me, yet you still liked her post. Do you really want me to be your girlfriend? Wait a moment. I have spotted a clue. Are you jealous? I only helped Riko take a single photo, that's all. Don't tell me you believe that the two of us just took a photo? Fine. I did know she was scolding you, but she said you proactively approached her the day before yesterday and said some very strange things. Her mind isn't right either. I told her you aren't that kind of person, but she still didn't quite believe it, so she posted on her moments. Liking it was just done casually, so I'll go unlike it now. This is indeed my problem. How could I like a moments post that scolds my girlfriend? Kazumi sent a voice message, her voice sounding a bit stealthy. I really didn't say anything. I only said 2 sentences. Did she already tell you? Are you angry? I tried hard to think for a moment. What are you angry about? I naturally believe you, but you must stay a bit away from Riko. Her mind seems to have an issue. Kazumi sent a cute emoji, a small white samoyed sitting on the ground, nodding its head vigorously, facing the phone screen. I couldn't resist smiling. Why is she so well behaved? Riko happened to see it just then. Haruto, you're being seduced by someone again. I gave her a cold glare. Don't talk nonsense. I'm in a relationship. Riko sat down beside me, suspicious of everything. Are you the one who slept with her for free? I lit 2B, looked at her unhappily. You're not allowed to talk about her like that. I tilted my head to the right, curling the corners of my lips. I've already obtained a status. She evaluated me for a moment. Then why not make it public? She won't let me make it public. Riko let out a sigh, standing up to look at me. Haruto, now I really want to be in a relationship with you. It feels like you could transfer this house to my name straight away. Kazumi also posted on her moments 4 attached pictures of a Taoist gossip mirror. The status line reading, 1 gives birth to 2, 2 gives birth to 3, 3 gives birth to all things. What kind of strange moments post is this? I gave her a like, and she immediately told me to quickly unlike it. Riko slapped her thigh with a loud smack. See that? She is implying that she wants to be your third party. I saw that Riko's symptoms were even more severe. I seriously gave Kazumi a warning beforehand. When you go to work, remember to keep your distance from Riko. I'm afraid she will spread wild rumors about you. Kazumi said she isn't afraid. At worst, she will resign and go abroad to develop, settling down permanently. Helplessly, I raised my hand to stroke my forehead, and this is still called not being afraid? Riko finished work extremely happy. The warning on her moments post was very effective. Professor Kazumi didn't even dare to drive the Maybach anymore, switching back to the BMW 5 Series. Occasionally meeting on a narrow path, teacher and student looking at each other four-eyed, Professor Kazumi would always avert her gaze, silently avoiding her by herself. On the surface, Riko was very cold, letting out a huff. Riko's expression capability was truly exaggerated. Kazumi was described by her as if she had a guilty conscience. But lately, Kazumi and I have also been meeting frequently. She is absolutely a straight girl. I haven't even teased her much, and she is already straight as can be. She even wants to move in to live together with me. You implied that I should tell Riko to leave quickly. I pulled her into my embrace, her eyes blinking for a moment. Soon, just within these 2 months. You will definitely tell her about moving out in about a month or so. Riko's rental contract will expire." Kazumi raised her head to say seriously, "I'll wait for you." She buried her face in my chest, giggling nonstop. Today is a day off. I prepared to give my girlfriend a surprise. "Dr. Kazumi, I successfully registered for your consultation appointment. Kazumi. But today I don't have a consultation schedule, you know that? There's a special guest right at the door of your office. For a long time, I have wanted to play this game with Kazumi." The door opened from the inside, and Kazumi panic-strickenly dragged me into the room. "How dare you come to the hospital to find me? What kind of way to talk is that?" I calmly sat down, casting a glance at her. "Dr. Kazumi, every day is just like being a thief. Do you have another boyfriend outside?" Kazumi sat down in front of me, staring fixedly at me, letting out a long, heavy sigh. "You tell me I've already been infatuated by you to the point of being spellbound, not even knowing what shame is anymore." She always appears reluctant. Oh well, ignore her. I just like this appearance of forcing her. She leaned her body slightly forward, her brows lightly furrowed. "Dr. Kazumi, my body is not comfortable. Examine it for me." Kazumi probably knew my disposition, perfunctorily cooperating with me to say, "Tell me, where is it uncomfortable?" I put on an act, letting out a huff. "My chest hurts. My waist also hurts. My legs are also uncomfortable, unable to exert strength." Kazumi indifferently directed her gaze toward me, using a fountain pen to point at the name badge on her chest. "Oh, I am an internist. You switched to someone else for an exam." I knew it. She refused to play with me. I stretched my body forward to lean against her office desk. "Dr. Kazumi, I haven't even mentioned the inside yet. The inside is even more uncomfortable." Kazumi raised a finger to press against her forehead, looking at me extremely helplessly. "Are my lines not important?" Impatiently, I lightly clicked my tongue. "Are you a regular doctor or not? Why don't you ask me where I am uncomfortable?" Kazumi was forced to submit. "Where is it uncomfortable?" I stared at her intently. "The inside especially misses you." "Dr. Kazumi!" That fountain pen suddenly slipped from her hand, abruptly falling and striking the desk, then rolling down to the ground, emitting a panicked sound. Kazumi was already stunned. She turned her head away, her earlobes turning bright red. "I already like you very much. Don't seduce me anymore. I cannot act wildly with you at the hospital. I was also just enjoying my mouth a bit. I only came to visit you. It might have bothered you reading documents." I evaluated her office, speaking while standing up. "That's right. Where is Riko? Is she also on the same floor as you?" Kazumi thought I was preparing to leave. Following along to stand up, her expression very anxious but answering off topic. "She doesn't have a private office." I didn't understand. A trainee intern naturally doesn't have a private office, then I can also go over to greet her, right? I strolled around her office, accidentally catching her gaze. Kazumi, with one hand supporting the edge of the desk, was looking toward me, her gaze lingering and restrained. "Didn't you say you came to visit me?" She is acting spoiled. Just then, my heart skipped a beat. "Dr. Kazumi, is a kiss allowed now?" Kazumi's reaction was to allow a kiss. She sat on the sofa, pulling my hand to lean against me to kiss. This person seems very easy to teach, but I truly am very easy to give an inch and take a mile with her. "Dr. Kazumi, don't bully me, I don't understand. Is this treating a disease?" I used my hand to push her chin away, Kazumi's face enduring and hard to restrain. "Naturally, it is." "Eee!" She stared fixedly at me, her collarbone rising and falling, accompanied by the sound of a gentle, panting sigh. "You are very seriously ill, don't you know?" I grabbed her collar, approaching extremely close at a very near distance, staring intently into her eyes. "But doctor, you haven't caught the right disease, prescribed the right medicine." Kazumi guiltily lowered her eyes. "What do you want?" I moved my hand to touch her hair. "I want to know if Dr. Kazumi's examination is serious enough. Can you repeat a bit the symptoms I mentioned at the beginning?" Kazumi lowered her eyelashes, tilting her head, trying hard to recall, probably having remembered it. Her face burning hot and turning bright red, biting her lower lip tightly without a word. Kazumi is truly very cute. I used my fingertip to lightly tap on her name badge. It seems the professor is not good with words, but definitely remembers everything, right? Kazumi nodded as if granted a grand amnesty. I raised my eyebrows to blink at her, then kissed further down. Kazumi fell silent. While the two were kissing passionately, a knocking sound suddenly echoed. "Yes, Professor Kazumi, I am Riko, coming over to submit a report." Kazumi snapped her eyes wide open. She stood up off my body, very quickly taking off her coat, two hands blocking in front of my body, her whole person as if facing a major enemy. The specific physical manifestation can refer to an adulteress caught red-handed in an affair. Her two hands tightly gripped my shoulders, sweat breaking out on her forehead, lightly panting when speaking. "What do we do?" I pursed my lips speechlessly, looking and looking at her, lowering my head to fix my clothes but unable to figure it out, looking and looking at her. "No, it can't be right. You are truly very strange. You just let Riko in and it's fine. She is young and impulsive. What if she hits you? She seems very afraid of Riko." I fretfully threw the coat onto her body. "Why must she hit you? You are the teacher. She is the student. Just because during working hours you are kissing with me? The previous time you harassed Riko, she didn't hit you at all. Is her temper still not good enough?" Kazumi seemed to see through that I was unhappy. She fluidly put on the coat, her tone very firm. "My temper is also very good, so if she really wants to hit me, then I'll just let her hit me. I truly admire you. She won't hit you. I'm going to open the door now, hiding and concealing like this, without opening the door. People will then feel we have something shady going on." Kazumi followed behind my back. "You are so smart." Ever since getting back together with Kazumi, the folds of my eyelids have widened. Because every day I have to stare blankly in speechlessness. Kazumi squeezed in front of me, placing her hand on the doorknob, taking a deep breath as if brewing emotions. "Haruto, you remember to keep silent? I will handle it properly. I understand. I just keep silent and speechless, and that's it, right?" Riko, seeing me, was still very astonished. Riko's mouth fell wide open. Even the report fell to the ground. "Why are you at Professor Kazumi's place?" Kazumi unnaturally said. "Cough, cough, don't misunderstand. He got lost in the hospital. Good heavens, I knew it. This person truly has an illness." Riko definitely didn't believe it, yes, and furthermore she was very wary of Kazumi Mez. "Kazumi, do you take me for a fool? I already warned you, you still dare to seek out the person by my side. You absolutely insist on forcing me to report you, right, Kei?" Azumi shamefacedly lowered her head. "Regarding the injuries caused to you, I am truly very sorry." Riko was just too lazy to hear her speak, taking the opportunity to wave her hand at me. "Come over quickly, Haruto." I stood like a towering mountain, unmoved, continuing to watch the show like an ancient ape that had just been enlightened. Kazumi buried her head extremely low, two hands clenched into fists, her voice lightly trembling. "Actually, I have always wanted to ask you, are you willing to go abroad to settle down with me?" The air suddenly became filled with a sorrowful atmosphere. The atmosphere quiet for a few seconds. I was thinking about who she was asking. HMPH, shameless. Riko pulled me to run away in a flash. Kazumi, standing in place, not chasing after. Riko and I were drinking alcohol in a convenience store. See, you still didn't believe it. She even invited me to go abroad to settle down. I truly scratched my head in frustration and couldn't understand it at all, I thought, and couldn't figure it out. "Do you know what she was doing before you entered?" Riko took a sip of alcohol. "Inquiring to you about me, right?" I shook my head. "She was kissing me." Riko abruptly collapsed onto the table, a mouthful of alcohol spraying all over my face. "Everyone is an adult already. Why do you have to act like that?" I closed my eyes tightly to pull a tissue from the table, wiping Riko's face clean. "What is the situation with the two of you?" I furrowed my brows tightly, my tone also becoming hesitant. "She is my girlfriend. We've been back together for a while. Previously, in the middle of the night when I went out, it was to look for her. That woman was just her. She looks so dignified. How can she be so terrible?" Riko sincerely lamented. "Already having a boyfriend yet still. Don't spread wild rumors anymore. She is even straighter than you." I stood up to interrupt her, throwing the tissue into the trash can. I keep having a feeling. The three of us have a huge misunderstanding. "It's just that I haven't found the clue." Riko, with two hands crossed over her chest in anger. Turning a deaf ear to the words, I said, "For this kind of jerk woman to also be able to win you over, I truly admire you. I supported my two hands on the edge of the table, fretfully asking her, "What's wrong? Do you also like me? Is that right?" Riko's face stiffened, turning her head to look at me, laughing very helplessly. "Is it not obvious?" This matter. I was momentarily stunned. This sudden confession. "I didn't know you were serious. After all, your talk is just like telling a joke," I thought. Riko let out a sigh, her tone quite full of rejection. "Forget it. It was also only at the very beginning that I had a bit of intent toward you. But you keep your face buried in your phone. Who taught you to live together with the opposite sex, yet keep your face buried in your jack phone? Afterward, my work suddenly became very busy, and you furthermore were messing around with your ex-girlfriend. Not daring to say you seduced your ex-girlfriend online, I coughed dryly a few times. Hearing you say it like that, it's also very reasonable that you don't like me anymore?" Riko shrugged with an indifferent look. "Mainly, you have no interest in me." Riko began to count my crimes. For example, taking advantage of her being tired to the point of falling asleep, to run out to look for women. For example, when she came back from the night shift and discovered I wasn't home, all were evidence showing that I ignored the great beauty that was her. I was also extremely speechless. "We are just roommates. For these words to be spoken from you, it's as if I went to cheat." I suddenly froze, a gleam of light flashing in my mind. I lightly narrowed my eyes. "Wait a minute. At the hospital, have you ever said who your boyfriend is?" Riko was looking at her phone. "Haven't said it? A person who inherently didn't exist at all, wouldn't talking too much expose it?" I fell silent for a moment. "You say," I lightly raised my eyes to look at her, every word uttered very hesitantly. "Is there any possibility she thought your boyfriend was me?" Riko raised her head to look at me, directly turning stunned. I bit my lip. "I remember when you asked for leave to sleep in, you said your boyfriend was sick. Afterward, Kazumi approved your leave. She even came to visit me." Riko leaned back against the back of the chair, placing the phone down, even her legs stretching out long. "And is she still human? You work so hard at your job. She saw it all. Yet she actually wanted to cuckold you." We both fell silent. It seemed the matter truly was like that. She only thought so. But she didn't cuckold you. She already cuckolded mentally. Riko's emotions were very agitated, angrier than I imagined, every sentence spoken with gnashing teeth. Calling me to a meeting while she herself asks for leave to bring porridge to my boyfriend, telling me the air conditioning is cold to cover with a blanket while she goes home to hug my boyfriend. She truly is a piece of trash. I didn't even dare to say that Kazumi and I also went to travel for a whole week. Riko scolded Kazumi for half an hour, until she received a WeChat message Kazumi sent over. "I'm sorry, I am preparing to resign. I will go abroad within the next month. If you need, I can publicly apologize. You can also demand compensation from me." I hope you don't blame him, because it was due to my being possessed by ghosts and demons, always clinging to him. Once again, expressing apologies. The chat log above you can expose, but hope you protect the privacy of the male party. "I will use everything I have to meet your conditions." Riko stared blankly at me. Meanwhile, it said she is about to resign. What? Good heavens. A small matter has blown up out of proportion. Riko and I hailed a car, rushing straight to Kazumi's place. Riko's mouth was again very convenient. The default hailing address is there, after all. We knocked on the door for a very long time, without anyone opening. I directly entered the password. Riko was speechless. "You have the password, yet you're acting here with me, right?" I truly admire her. She is also too immersed. Upon stepping into the door, Kazumi was packing luggage. She stood in the living room, staring blankly toward us, her eyes a bit bright red already. "Do you plan to hit me?" Riko actually hesitated. Can I?" Riko leaned her ear over to whisper to me. "Can I hit her first, and then tell her the truth? Take the opportunity to give her a free beating, to give me a bit of joy." Kazumi lightly raised her head, stepping to an open space in the living room, lowering her head to take off her wristwatch, casually throwing it onto the dark gray-black sofa. "Then you make your move. I won't resist." Clearly, she was the one about to be beaten, but she looked really beautiful. Dare not imagine. If on the bed I heard her say this sentence, I would definitely be infatuated to death by her. Kazumi shifted her gaze to look at me, helplessly curling the corners of her lips. Haruto, you go to the study to avoid it for a moment. Riko, seeing I had no reaction, tilted her head to see what I was thinking, letting out a gentle, "Hey, can you sober up a bit? They're about to fight?" I awkwardly averted my gaze, while Riko let out a huff from her nose. I just don't believe it. Even being beaten up, she can still be this beautiful. Riko stepped forward, extending a hand to lightly push Kazumi's shoulder. Once, Kazumi was pushed to the point that her figure faltered, beneath her feet still persistently standing still without moving. She turned her head away and lowered her eyes, completely expressionless. I was distressed to death. "You are not allowed to hit her." I dashed over there. "Riko, I haven't even made a move yet." Kazumi, seeing me blocking in front of her, was also momentarily stunned. "Haruto, are you okay?" Riko speechlessly shook her head. She naturally is okay. Kazumi resolutely pulled me into her embrace, looking four-eyed with Riko. "Riko, you see it too? He fundamentally doesn't like you. If he liked you, I also wouldn't have had a chance. The two of you break up, I can compensate you. Money is fine, resources are fine, as long as you yield your boyfriend to me." Riko looked at her with a complex gaze, rolling up her sleeves. "I don't need money, nor do I need resources. I only want to hit you." "You mean as long as I hit you, then I will break up with him?" Kazumi's face was firm, not hiding, not avoiding. Pretty much that meaning. Riko clenched her fists, already impatiently waiting. I urgently mediated the conflict. "Stop, both of you. If anyone wants to hit, let me hit. I want to hit Kazumi. The push she suffered just now already made me feel pleased watching it." Riko looked at me with rejection. I fiercely glared back. Kazumi lowered her head to look at me. Her gaze intent, she grabbed my hand, her fingertips brushing across my palm. "You hit me? Can she accept it?" "See. And this be considered a punishment?" Riko, as a member of the onlookers, already lived with nothing left to long for. "How can it not be considered a punishment? This is a punishment for me." I clenched my fist, pretending to cough heavily, to imply to Riko. Riko perfunctorily went along with it. "Fine, fine, fine, hurry up. I have to go back to work." She hesitated a moment. "Oh well, no rush either. My leader is right here." Kazumi, in order to make it convenient for me to hit her, sat down on the sofa to reduce our height difference. I stood and she sat. I looked down at her from above, lightly narrowing my eyes and curling the corners of my lips. "My slapping someone will hurt very much." Kazumi raised her head to smile. "It's fine. I'm not afraid of pain." I bent my waist forward, leaning over to stare fixedly at her, 5 fingers closed together, slapping her face twice consecutively. "Close your eyes." Kazumi stared fixedly into my eyes, her gaze flickering, unconsciously lowering her head only to be stopped by me. "Not allowed to lower your head." She raised her chin, obediently closing her eyes, eyelashes lightly trembling uncontrollably. I raised my hand, swinging it high and then dropping it down, bringing along a gust of wind. Kazumi closed her eyes even tighter. I lowered my head, smilingly embracing her face, gently pressing against her lips. Kazumi was stunned, opening her eyes. I couldn't resist tilting my head, smilingly looking at her. "I finished hitting you. You are my girlfriend now. Does it hurt?" Kazumi cast a glance at Riko, seeing the other party's emotions were still normal, before staring fixedly at me. "It hurts." Incurably amused, I pounced over to hug her. Riko was not far away. Actually, comparing it like this, her move just now was indeed way too heavy, hitting to the point that Professor Kazumi lost all face. Her waist was embraced by someone. I linked arms with Kazumi. She is just my tenant. There are still over 40 days left until the lease expires. Kazumi looked at Riko with a complex face, who just now was still planning to run away, but was called back right on the spot. Riko was now very embarrassed. "Haruto, I don't have a boyfriend. It was me going out and bragging, because my vanity was too large. I noticed you a long time ago. You have never mentioned your boyfriend." Kazumi coldly looked at her, adding the latter half of the sentence. "Except when asking for leave." The truth was clearly exposed. Riko clutched her hand, coughing lightly. "If you have said so, then I won't reckon the matter of you cuckolding me anymore." Kazumi began teaching right on the spot. Fabricating facts to deceive teachers, the moment's post is also fake. Can you put your mind on the right path? The thesis written a few days ago, I want to talk with you a bit. You met me in the hallway and let out a huff at me, and furthermore, he is not even your boyfriend. You show an attitude to me at the slightest thing. Rico and I exchanged looks, absolutely unable to speak. Just let this secret rot in the heart. I pulled Kazumi's arm. Professor Kazumi, you just let your student go. She has to go back to edit her thesis. I leaned close to her ear. Today, I am on leave, Kazumi. Turned around to cough lightly, her tone serious. Rico, you go back. Rico speechlessly left. Kazumi leaned back to lie down on the sofa, placing her hand on her forehead, letting out a long, heavy sigh. Heavens, I actually thought I was acting as a third party. I turned my body to climb over, supporting my elbows to look at her. Then Professor Kazumi acted as a third party very successfully. Tonight, I don't even want to go home anymore. Kazumi lay flat beneath my body, slowly raising her eyes, meeting eyes with me, her thin lips slightly parting. Do you like teasing me very much, is that right? I panicked, preparing to stand up to run away. Kazumi used one hand to embrace my waist to pull me back, using strength to pull down hard, making me unable to not lie prone on top of her body. Running for what? Nobody said it's not allowed. She lowered her eyes to look down at me, suddenly smiling. Haruto, previously you could love me for 2 years. It definitely must have suffocated you to death. I also thought she would criticize me. Kazumi lowered her head, the corners of her lips curling into a curve, extending her hand to tightly interlock 10 fingers with me. Now I've caught you. Complete main text. Epilogue. Dr. Kazumi's daily diary of being a third party. One day after marriage, Haruto discovered his girlfriend on a certain male forum actually had tens of thousands of followers. And there were even people urging her to release the next part about the third-party matter. Haruto read a title. The ex-boyfriend who hadn't contacted me for half a year asked me over to assemble a double bed. What does it mean? Initially, it was him who pursued me. I look quite pretty too, but afterward he broke up with me, probably bored. Don't understand what he means, saying I can sleep on his bed. As shown in the picture, will a guy say such words to his ex-girlfriend? After reading everyone's comments, I decided to go. The subsequent development is truly hard to fully explain in words. He didn't want to get back together with me, but just wanted to do that matter with me. I also saw his new girlfriend, who is my student, apart from being young, has no advantages at all. He said I am just a bed assembler, everyone don't guess blindly in the comments section. I really don't like him. I rejected his seduction. Blocked him. I deserve a better love, but just thinking about it makes me angry. The bed I finished assembling, the two of them were actually on it. Title. I rejected him. He then went to do that matter with his girlfriend for 2 hours. It's just that bed assembling ex-boyfriend. He sent me a bizarre WeChat message in the middle of the night. I rejected again. He went to find his girlfriend. Purposely telling me he couldn't reply to messages anymore is probably a provocation tactic. 2 hours. How could it be possible? Always in a state. To explain a bit about the response with many likes in the comments section, it was due to my unblocking him. Blocking makes me look like I am very bitter. The subsequent development is he is not as good as you guys think. Indeed went to do that matter. I have video called. Looking at him, it's obvious. After the act, he was still showering. I pretended to agree to do that matter with him. He also refused to come out. How can there be this kind of man? How did he pursue me initially? Guys pursuing me are truly very many. Title. No more developments. Don't watch anymore. I am not an idle person. I still have to go to work. Recently, exceptionally busy. Why does the comments section keep saying I will suppress his girlfriend? His girlfriend is my student, naturally must synchronize working hours with me. I don't have any opinion toward the little girl at all. If I found her an eyesore, would I reject her boyfriend? The little girl is the little girl. Her boyfriend is her boyfriend. I am her teacher. I am not a third party. Title. He again wants to invite me to a hotel. Truly is. The ex-boyfriend came again. He sent me very sexy messages. At that time, I was in the elevator. His girlfriend was right behind me. My heart almost stopped beating out of fear. I told him to go find his girlfriend. He said he only wanted to do that matter with me. It seems those 2 hours didn't have a bit of quality. Previously, comments said it was from my own imagination. can you come out to apologize now? Why did his girlfriend look at me? I didn't seduce him at all. Later, when she gets broken up with, she won't look for me to cause trouble, right? The subsequent development is he doesn't want to break up, just desires my body. I again rejected. This post won't be updated anymore. I truly have been bothered by him. Also, don't know what I am busy with. Damn it. Now I am still staying up at night editing the thesis for his girlfriend. Section 6 and the main content don't match at all. What exactly does he like about her? I am title. He scolded me for wanting to act wildly, yet wanting to appear pure and lofty. I have already reconciled with myself. The reason was due to my posting a photo only he could see. H. And he then scolded me for wanting to act wildly, yet wanting to appear pure and lofty. I even searched on Baidu. Then I won't do that anymore. He and his girlfriend just live well together. I'll be a marriage witness. Wait a minute, don't be a marriage witness yet. He said my photo was very beautiful, proving what he hates is not my style of acting wildly, but my style of being pure and lofty. I tested him. He video called with me, telling me to take off clothes. Taking off until only underwear was left, he still stared intently. Still hasn't passed my test. Sooner or later, they will break up. He called a car in the middle of the night to find me. I slept with him. The time longer than his girlfriend, he again called a car to leave by himself. Looks quite strenuous, taking advantage of his girlfriend sleeping soundly to still have to come here to cheat with me. Who does he actually like more? Much later, this account stopped updating. Every day, hundreds of followers check and ask the daily question. Today, has the third-party blogger returned yet? Done yet? Has the blogger been beaten to death? Even if you want to drive traffic, quickly return here, I'll buy it, is that fine? Haruto also very much wanted to see. He quickly found the encrypted development part in Kazumi's notes, the password being Haruto's birthday. The title was, My Diary of Being a Third Party. Day 1 of being a third party, his girlfriend called me. No way. Was I discovered so fast? Fortunately, it was to ask for leave. But is he unwell somewhere? Did I do it a bit too excessively last night? I only wanted to perform really well so he could never forget me again, so that after returning he would no longer look at Rico. I am so base. I called Rico over to do the meeting work in my stead. I must go bring porridge to him. Why did he look unhappy seeing me? Impossible, we just slept together yesterday. I wanted to get a kiss. His girlfriend returned earlier than scheduled. He slapped me once. It hurt so much. Turns out this is exactly what being a third party is. Not bright or splendid at all. Day 7 of being a third party. Why, after only doing it once, has he already ignored me? The last time he hit me, I didn't even reckon. I could only go ask his girlfriend. Heard the two of them are arguing. Is it because I caused extra trouble for him? He then doesn't want to pay attention to me anymore, right? Then in the future, I won't go to his house anymore. At my house, it is more free. He conversely asked me if I still knew shame, so uncomfortable. Now he is sobered up, then comes to scold me for not knowing shame. Does he want to break off with me? I won't accept it. I must make a scene. I want him to come see me. I want to cling to him. A third party is just like that. He should also take a bit of a lesson. Really thought I am someone easy to bully? Day 10 of being a third party, crying, throwing a tantrum, threatening to hang myself. He has taken me to travel. So happy. I am favored. Again, we went to Japan. This is a country of third parties. Heard 85% of the people are all acting as third parties. Adding me alone doesn't matter. As expected, here lucky matters occurred. I exhausted all my strength to serve him. He proactively proposed wanting to let me become the official wife. Underline this line. Proactively proposed. Happiness arrived unexpectedly too fast to handle. But I must keep calm. Remember well, don't let extreme joy turn into sorrow. Day 18 of being a third party, preparing for the promotion to official wife. What if in the future people discover when Haruto kicks out Rico and dates me, it causes gossip? I first just create an atmosphere that I am 10,000 times better than Rico. Like that everyone will feel Haruto liking me is very reasonable. From now on, no longer low profile. Must be high profile. Did Rico hear some rumors? Why did she ask me about the travel matter? Fortunately, I resolutely denied. Day 20 of being a third party. Rico has a night shift today. She said she won't go home, then fine. I can spend the night with Haruto. but her working the night shift is also quite strenuous. I have a bit of unease in my heart. How about lending my blanket for her to cover? I can also introduce a boyfriend to her. She said she loves her boyfriend very much and won't break up with him. Forget it, not lending the blanket to her anymore. Received Haruto's message. He just insists on telling me to wear a bow tie at night. 1, 2, how should I say this? Actually, my life is also not easy. Previously, being Haruto's girlfriend, he truly listened to me in everything. Now, being Haruto's third party, he always makes despicable demands. I am not very willing, but dare not displease him, perhaps. This is exactly the difference between an official wife and a third party. He fundamentally doesn't even treat me as a person. I looked at Riko's neck and hands. Didn't see any traces at all. Riko asked me what I was looking at. Why is she so fierce to the teacher? I also dare not ask. Day 22 of being a third party. Lately I always make a fuss. Being scolded by his girlfriend's moments post. Didn't we agree we'll go back to break up with her? Breaking up yet still giving gifts, don't you know, to give normal gifts? I saw him give her a branded watch while giving me a cheap necklace. What am I? Am I a clown? I am all worked up. Since he said I can become the official wife, facing his all kinds of seduction, I more and more have no boundaries. Am I deceived? He can't bear to tease his girlfriend. Toward his girlfriend is not like this. He said it was due to the other party suspecting and went to ask him he already unliked, then that's acceptable. I also stealthily posted a thread on moments he liked it for me, super happy, but still should tell him to unlike it. After all, it's not honorable. Day 25 of being a third party, lately not provoking his girlfriend anymore, still should be low profile a bit. His girlfriend still every day huffs at me. I don't even dare to say her thesis is poorly written. Afraid she thinks I am purposely causing trouble. After all, she doesn't have the ability to appraise a thesis. Haruto lately loves me too much. The seductive words he says to me are also too many. Every time he calls me Dr. Kazumi, my heart all beats fast. Previously didn't allow him to call like that, because a workplace title is very strange. Now I have learned to enjoy it. Dr. Kazumi, measuring the temperature for the patient. Why sweating this much? He even wipes sweat from me, my face red to the point of exploding. No wonder he could pursue me. He is too handsome. I told him he is not allowed to treat Riko like that. His face immediately changed. Are you psycho? Mentioning her for what? Then I dare not mention anymore. Too humble. Day 30 of being a third party. Haruto came to the hospital to find me. Cheating at home has already been unable to satisfy him. He even wanted me to act wildly with him right at the hospital. No way, no way! He said, no matter how erotic it is, I also won't agree. But what he said was also too erotic. I still rejected, saying no to wrong temptations. He actually wanted to go find his girlfriend. He said he came to visit me. He again wanted to go visit his girlfriend. Does he also want to look at her, like looking at me? I'll do it, and that's it. Doing it anywhere is doing it. Anything I can also do, I want to cure his illness. Caught red-handed by his girlfriend, Haruto was still very calm. Is this exactly the leisure of being loved? His girlfriend scolded me for not knowing shame and even pulled Haruto away. I went home to write a resignation letter, cried a bit. He actually didn't shield me at all. What can I still expect being a third party? Am I too in love with Haruto? I have never pursued a guy before, always others pursuing me. Haruto is the person best at flirting. I and he being together are all exceptionally happy. But the joy is all brought to me by him. I am a very dull person, therefore he broke up with me. Is he now seeing a person like me willing to act wildly with him? Very interesting. The jerk man tortured me before, now still tortures me. I am preparing to go abroad, unable to survive domestically anymore. If let my teachers and students discover I knew I was a third party yet still did it, and furthermore, with the girlfriend of a student, can I still survive? Haruto even took his girlfriend to come straight to my place to settle accounts. He has my door password. Looks like today it's hard to escape a beating. Beat me, just don't scare Haruto. and it's fine. Haruto didn't let her hit me. Okay, I am fully resurrected. Your boyfriend is very good. Now he is mine. Haruto even kissed me right in front of her. I am no longer a mouse in the gutter. I am the official wife. Diary ends. Turns out, I am not a third party. Kids nowadays don't have a boyfriend yet, also fabricate a boyfriend. Truly too much. Harming me into thinking I acted as a third party for a whole month? This is all Riko's fault. Every day, what is she showing off for? Who told her to live together with the master, the teacher of the teacher? For what? But since I am not a third party, why did Haruto treat me like that? I am thinking it through again, eliminating all external factors. That is, he is truly, purely perverted. I seem to have thought of Haruto too complicatedly. He simply is a pervert. He just likes playing tricks on me. Look at that guilty appearance of his, he stammered, saying, because previously you were the goddess I managed to pursue, but furthermore, quite prideful, I didn't dare to make excessive demands. Ah, am I a goddess? I knew it. If I had known earlier, it was due to my valuing face too much. Initially, I just begged him not to dump me, and it would have been fine, better than going around acting as a third party before becoming the official wife. But, summarizing to speak, acting as a third party for a month is also not in vain. I already know how to rein Haruto. He will never break up with me again. I am madly in love with him. Haruto finished viewing her phone. Kazumi was already standing at the door of the clinic, indifferently knocking on the door. Haruto, done yet? The prostate examination you booked requires taking down the pants. Haruto took off his pants, lying onto the hospital bed. Kazumi placed the file folder down, putting on rubber gloves, turning her body around to look at him, furrowing her brows. Mister, no need to take off everything. Taking off the lower part is fine. Haruto's hands turned bright red. Doctor, I wear a bodysuit. So what about it? Kazumi was very puzzled. Haruto closed his eyes tightly. In his heart, half regret, half speechless. This person's sexual preference is truly strange, stranger than him. Why must she be so serious? As expected, humans cannot be completely unlocked. Not a single normal person exists.